Cruising from the Mill Hollow Car Show in Vermilion, Ohio, starts right now. Hi, welcome to Cruising. I don't know that there could be a better place to set up shop than the Metro Parks just outside Vermilion for the 20th annual Mill Hollow Car Show. We showed up. This show is so big, when we showed up, before it even started, there were already 1,000 cars here. People had set up lawn chairs along the road to watch the cars come in, which happens every year. There's so much to see, so let's take a look. This car is huge. First of all, what am I staring at?
You're looking at a 1948 Chrysler New Yorker, 5-passenger coupe. It has an inline 8-cylinder engine, produced about 155 horsepower, which was very ample for the time. It comes equipped with electric windshield wipers, hydraulic brakes, dual heaters, and a fluid drive transmission, which was what's called semi-automatic.
We don't see a lot of these 1948 New Yorkers. Why this car? Why did you want it?
Well, when I was a child, 10 years old or so, my older brother, who was 2 years older than I, was tasked with washing and polishing and cleaning up a car like this, only it was royal blue. My father was a chauffeur for a coal company executive. And in exchange for 4 hours of hard labor in the sun, we'd get a 15-minute ride. And that's when I decided then, and that would be about 66 years ago now, and I've had this, I finally found one that was the kind that we had worked on or polished as a child, and bought it about 4 years ago now.
As a memory, to pass it on, baby, wouldn't you pull this into your driveway and have your kids or grandkids polish it for a 15-minute ride?
I wouldn't trust them because they would ruin the finish.
Well, it looks like you're stuck polishing again 60-something years later.
That's exactly right. And then we were using Johnson's household floor wax.
So you drive this?
Oh yes, on a regular basis.
So, how's the air conditioning?
You see that scoop on the hood? That's factory air.
The car's so heavy. How's the ride?
Rides really well because it's got a long wheelbase. And the longer the wheelbase on any vehicle, the better ride you get between the bumps.
Tell me about the interior. I like the green.
Well, the interior's been replaced, but it needs to be replaced because it's done with cheap material. And
you can't trust those museum people.
You know, they put really too light of stuff on. I'm going to have it redone because just getting in and out of it's already caused it to rip, and that ought not to have happened. If it had the original material, it would have taken 5–10 years for that to happen.
What do you like about the dash?
Well, the dash was unique. That was another thing that Chrysler was big on, appearance. They did things that nobody else did during that early era. But later on, everybody else started mimicking each other. As you can see now, late model cars, a block away, the profiles are so similar, it's hard to tell one from the other. Not so when these cars were made. This was called a harmonica grille. As you can see, if you've ever seen a harmonica, you can see why it was called that.
It would be so cool if you were driving and it made the different sounds.
It would indeed, wouldn't it? And those bumpers probably weighed about 75 pounds, each of them. You can see how they wrap around. Another unique feature for Chrysler.
Well, the good news is after the show, our guys will wax your car for a 15-minute ride.
Excellent.
Just wait right here. We'll be back.
Excellent, excellent.
What am I staring at?
You're staring at a 1962 Corvair Monza 900 convertible. 62 was the first year for the convertible. Corvairs were, first year was, they came out in September of '59. They were actually developed or under development as early as 1956. What held up development was they weren't sure what to do with the motor, and they got a lot of their ideas on the engine from the Tucker, which was a flat 6 helicopter motor that Tucker put into the Tucker. Chevrolet Engineering Division got a lot of the ideas to do this from that engine. And that's how the flat 6, horizontal 6, whatever it's referred to as, that's how it came to be.
It's such a unique car. What's it like to drive?
It's a lot of fun to drive. It sticks to the road like a stamp to a letter. We do a lot of cruising through the valley when we can, and it corners beautiful. It handles like a dream. Obviously no power steering. There's no weight in the front because the motor's in the rear, and it's just a fun car to drive. It really is.
Looking at the dash, you've got the little, a slide for the fan? What are some of the unique things about the dashboard?
Well, the dashboard, if you look at it, it's so small because they want to give you as much leg room, knee room as possible. So everything is kind of half size, so to speak. This has a little less floor room because it's a standard shift. It has a nice ride for what it is. And again, it's just a joy to drive.
Some of the suspension basically went on to the Corvette.
Some of it went onto the Corvette.
So
yes,
I'm guessing we popped the hood, the engine, pretty similar to a Corvette?
No, not at all. No. I wish, but no.
Tell me about the engine.
The engine is this is the smallest. This is the base engine that you could get. That you're 145 cubic inches, 80 horsepower. It can't get out of its own way, but.
It looks good doing it though.
Good on gas. They were noted for having a fan belt throwing issue back in the day, but if you knew how to put it on correctly, you didn't have a problem.
Well, that's a people issue.
Right. It wasn't a design flaw, it was just a people issue. Everybody thought it kept coming off because it was too loose. In actuality, the tighter you make it, the more it'll come off. You want to keep it sloppy. That's the key.
It sounds to me like someone had it out. There's like an enemy and they just kept bad-mouthing this car that wasn't bad.
Right. There was a lot of people that didn't like it. But again, it has a very loyal following. So it's kind of a love-hate. You either love them or you hate them. And this is my fourth one in my lifetime. And we just love it. I mean, it's a nice little car.
Now, this was the first year of the convertible. Some of the body changes, what did they change from this year?
Well, the whole body style changed in '65. This is considered first generation, 60 through 64. 65, they were a little more, we'll call it aerodynamic. It was a little bit heavier. There was bigger motors offered then than there were in the early models. So they did improve them. I lean towards the first generation body style more than the second.
Did you have, I didn't even ask you, how long have you had it?
It will be 3 years in October.
Did you have to do anything to it?
Minor stuff. I had to get the bumpers re-chromed, the driver's seat reupholstered. Other than that, most of it's just been cosmetic, cleaning it up, detailing the engine. But the mechanics of the car were replaced. It's a California car, so it was in very nice shape when I got it anyway.
And the impressive thing is, stunt drivers could not flip this?
They got to hire 3 stunt rollers, like I said, and they couldn't roll them. They tried every scenario, dry pavement, wet pavement, cornering at much higher speed than they should be at, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't roll them. They could slide them, but they couldn't roll them.
Well, listen, we have a young camera guy here. He could give it a shot.
Yeah, well, we'll have to, if the price is right, you can drive it, yes.
We're just getting started. There is so much more to check out at the 20th Annual Mill Hollow Car Show that we're going to be right back. You should too. Stick with Cruisin'.
Closed captioning provided by Blue Line Classics, home of the original Sanford & Son TV truck. Conveniently located in North Royalton, Ohio, we specialize in buying and selling antique, classic, and muscle cars and trucks. If you're interested in selling your classic car or looking to purchase a new classic, call us today.
Welcome back to Vermilion, Ohio for the 20th Annual Mill Hollow Car Show on Cruisin'. Terry, a lot of times when I talk to someone about a car, they're like, they have a memory. So you have like horrible memories of a station wagon as a kid?
Vacation memories, for whatever that's worth. We vacationed to Cape Cod, our family, and we had a Plymouth station wagon. 3 of them, actually, over the years.
And look at this is a 1960.
Yes.
So looking at it, in the wagons your parents had, did you get the safety feature of the dad karate chop to the back seat?
Well, I don't know about that, but I had the tail gunner position. That's the 3rd seat. My brother and sister sat in the middle seat, and of course, Mom and Dad were up front.
That's the first thing I went to too, is I just had to check that gunner seat.
Yes.
What's so cool about that?
It is. Its uniqueness. You know, these were basic transportation. This was the predecessor of the SUV, the workhorse of the family. But to find one with that 3rd seat in the back, that was a real score. That was terrific. Yeah.
What do you like about the dash? The dash, it just takes you back. You've got the little buttons and all. What do you like about it?
The typewriter transmission, donk, donk, donk. That's terrific. Yeah, that's terrific. That dates the vehicle, and it's a unique feature that helped sell the car back in 1960.
And you look at this and everyone thinks station wagon. It's like, nah, not like this. What's really special about the Valiant?
Smaller size than a full size. The design, most certainly the design. 1960, first year for the car. Somewhat controversial Virgil Exner design. Love it or hate it, not too much down the middle. You know, obviously I like the designer, I wouldn't have bought it. The grille, the double headlights, the tail fins, the little flattened tail fins with the cat's eye tail lights. You know, it's a unique car. You know, I've had some very fine Mustangs and Camaros and things like that, and they're great cars, but you never see these, and that's what I liked about it.
What about driving it? What's it like?
Surprisingly good. Because of the wheelbase, it rides nice. Radial tires, of course, rather than bias belted. You know, Kaya, come on. No power steering. It was extra. Everything was extra on these cars back then.
What about the engine?
Slant 6. First year for the Slant 6. First year for an alternator on an American car. Yeah, up until that point it had been generators. So there's some firsts on the car that Chrysler was famous for.
Well, and a lot of people shy away from firsts because they're like, there'll be problems.
I can understand that, but that's also the most unique year. Because later on the designers come along and the bean counters come along and they ruin the design. You know, they cut corners here and they redo this and they redo that, and usually it's not for the better. I like the original.
The important thing was finding a car that your dogs would enjoy?
They love it. I can take them all with me. It's actually a practical car. 4 doors, all that space in the back. It's practical, it works.
So you recommend a station wagon to everyone?
If you can't find an SUV, I guess so.
Taking a look at what you've got here, I'm thinking, there's got to be some good surfing in Vermilion.
Of course there's good surfing in Vermilion.
You're making that up. What am I staring at?
We're staring at a 37 Plymouth with the Dakota chassis.
All right, and we're looking at it and I think, why did wood paneling go out of style? I love this.
It did, but it is the best. It gives a lot of class to the car.
Any extra upkeep on this?
No, actually, it's actually in pretty good shape. It's in great running shape.
So you just got this car.
I've had it for about a month.
Why this one?
It caught my eye, and I had to have it.
That's it? That's the story?
It caught my eye, I had to have it. I love the wood. I love the surfboard effect. So it just all came together.
What about it? Like you take a look at the front and you think, all right, gangster.
Oh no, gangster's the best. It's gotta be gangster, it's an old car.
Wait a minute, you're a gangster surfer?
I'm a gangster surfer. I guess that might be my motto.
What really strikes you about this besides the paneling?
Just the style of the car, the sleekness of it, the color, the big headlights. I love the headlights. It's just a nice car.
So what's it like to drive?
When you first get in it, you think you've got a big car, but as you're driving it, you just got to keep it down the center of the road. It's a very narrow car, so it runs really smooth down the road.
Well, I look at the interior, it looks like you're just cruising around the road in a living room.
Pretty much. It's a nice living room.
It is.
Yeah.
What did you guys?
It's very comfortable. I like that it's high and I can sit in it nice. So I've got a good view from all, but yeah.
And I don't know who it was, but someone said, oh, I love the back seat. What about the back seat?
The back seat is great. It's a nice, huge, big back seat, so I can put my grandkids in there and we can cruise around town.
What do you like about suicide doors?
They're kind of awesome. I mean, everybody's got 2 doors. It comes open, it's easy to get in and out of. So it's nice. Love it. I don't think there's a thing on the car that I don't like.
You know what I thought was interesting is kind of the little, like, the symbols and the logos, like on the rear tail light.
Yeah, everything. I mean, it's just an awesome car. I couldn't have asked for a better car. For my first car, actually. This is the
your first car
I've ever bought, yes. Yes, my first old car I've ever bought, yes.
So do you tell your husband how much better this is than his?
Well, it is. No doubt.
So what's next for this one?
We're going to James Dean in Indiana in the end of September. So it'll make its first far run.
End of September, you may still need some air conditioning.
Yeah, we might. We're hoping no rain because it's got no windshield wipers either, so.
Coming up.
Because there's no way to really measure this, and the easiest way to measure it is with the masking tape.
Up next, those Buckeye guys. They're back on Cruisin'.
Welcome to Cruising with the Buckeye guys. Today, we do frame repair here at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration. Most frames are 50 to 100 years old. Think about that. There's no parts available for them, so you have to make the parts and repair them. I have a 1974 Bronco frame that is in front of me here, and we're doing some repair work on it. It was rusted out in a few spots. And what we've done is we've custom made some brackets here for frame mount access where the body would go. Also, the spring perches are all rotted out on this frame. So what we're doing here is we're making them by hand. And Kevin here already cut out the steel that is bad in the frame. And what we're doing is we're taking masking tape and creating a distance we need to get the steel here, because there's no way to really measure this, and the easiest way to measure it is with the masking tape. Now what he's doing here is he's using the tape to create a template, and basically the template is going to give us the distance we need to cut the steel, and then once the steel is cut out, we will form it to the arch we need, and then we'll weld it back in place. Once again, you do this when parts are not available for old frames, and this is the best way to do it, most secure and safest way. So it'll be butt welded in, ground smooth, and the repair will be unnoticed. That gives you the length, what he did there. So he took the original cutout piece, put the tape on there for the template. Now that's the length we need. It's the easiest way to measure it. What Kevin has done here is he's tack welded the piece on we've cut out to a piece of 2-inch pipe. What he's going to do now is heat it up and get the arch to it by heating it and hammering it to the half circle curvature we need. Now with the one side heated, he's going to bend it over. Look how easy that moves when it's heated. So now we'll weld that in place into the frame, and the frame will be repaired. As with any custom framework and rotted out frames, we can do it all here at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration. You can give us a call at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration at 330-533-4757, or look us up on the web at buckeyeresto.com.
Coming up.
California look, you know, it just screams Volkswagen. To me, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Next on Cruising.
From project to pride and joy, the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration can make your dreams come true. Our master body, paint, and mechanical technicians have over 100 years of experience. They do research, can communicate every detail of the restoration process, and their restorations win big-time awards. Buckeye Classic Car Restoration cars have been winning awards since 2001. Let the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration turn your project into an award winner.
Closed captioning provided by Blue Line Classics, home of the original Sanford & Son TV truck. Conveniently located in North Royalton, Ohio, we specialize in buying and selling antique, classic, and muscle cars and trucks. If you're interested in selling your classic car or looking to purchase a new classic, call us today.
Now back to the Mill Hollow Car Show in Vermilion, Ohio on Cruising. We don't see a lot of Carmen Ghias.
Right.
Why did you want the Carmen Ghia?
Always Volkswagen fanatics. Always wanted a Carmen Ghia through high school. Didn't think it would happen and just ran across it.
What is it about the Ghia?
California look. You know, it just screams Volkswagen. To me, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Because when I think California, I think, yeah, Germans.
Right. Well, I think California, like I said, it needs surfboards on it. This is our touch from Ohio to California is what it is.
What do you find really special about the Ghia?
Just the closeness, the smallness. I've always been a Porsche fan too. I like the older Porsches, and we're just right along that same line with the Carmen Ghia. So I had a 66 Porsche, and this just reminds me of it.
Once you get inside, I mean, interiors don't get a whole lot more basic, do they?
Not more basic, and definitely no more room. That's what it is. So you're very close to who you're riding with.
Tell me about the impressive Karmann Ghia engine.
The impressive Karmann Ghia engine will set you back in your seat if you're dropped out of an airplane, but it is not the fastest car. We're going for a little cruising kind of cool looks, not for speed, that's for sure. So,
and then of course the trunk space?
Trunk space in this car is immaculate. You have a spare tire and enough room for cleaning supplies, and that's about it. So.
Should they even pretend to have a back seat in this car?
Not for me, maybe for somebody else. So, yeah, no, I've never sat in the back seat of a Karmann Ghia, and I have no plans to.
Well, you don't need to, you're driving.
No, I'm driving, that's right.
What's it like to drive?
It's fun to drive. It's like a go-kart is what it feels like. It really does. A little 4-speed go-kart. A lot of fun.
You drive it, you're getting a lot of comments.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
It draws a lot of attention, and just like you said, it brings people back. People think about the Volkswagens they either had or the Volkswagens that they wanted. And that's why I think, to go back to your earlier question, we're drawn to this car because there's a lot of Camaros, there's a lot of Mustangs, things like that. But you can go to these shows and you just don't see a lot of Volkswagen Karmann Ghias. That's why we love it.
And Carter, you've had him for 4 months. Has he become attached to the car yet?
Today was Carter's first ride in the Karmann Ghia, and he seemed to love it. I think he realized very quick that we don't have air conditioners like our other cars, but he's very adept to hanging his head out the window and cruising around and looking cool.
When I think tough guy cars, I think Karmann Ghia with a teardrop. What happened here?
I have no idea where the teardrop came from. It was on the car when we got it, but I tell people that it has its prison tattoo, and I think it's only killed once, so be careful.
That wraps things up for us at the 20th Annual Mill Hollow Car Show. What a fantastic day. Over 1,000 cars here today. We could only show you a little bit of it, so you might want to make sure you come back for the 21st Annual Mill Hollow Car Show. While we're at it, if there's a car show around you, go, check it out. You will absolutely have a terrific time. You also have a terrific time making sure you join us for the next cruising. I'm Bill Barranque. Thanks for joining us.